mission, solving mysteries in the night. Chasing shadows, finding answers, shining bright light. No one's left behind in the darkness, all alone. With a heart like a siren, she brings the lost ones home. Silent cries in the dark no longer have to be. For justice wheels keep turning, granny on the beat. Broken voices find their power, call out hope again. When Granny's crime busters run, no victims left in pain. Bravery in her veins, truth she won't disguise. With a fire in her eyes, she's got nothing to deny. Granny fights for justice, never backs down from the call. For the voiceless and the missing, she'll stand tall. In a world full of shadows, she fights the unseen. A guardian of the truth in this wicked dream. Every story told brings her back to life. Granny's on the case, cutting through the lies. She guards the broken-hearted from the world that hides. With unwavering spirit, she wears no disguise. Searching for the lost pieces of a shattered life. Granny brings the dawn after a longest night.
Hello, hello, everybody. How's everybody doing this afternoon? Hope you're all doing good. Hello, NH. Good to see you again. Ginger Girl, hello. SRB, oh, I'm glad you made it. That's awesome. Oh, so it's really sunny here today, but it's extremely windy. And with my hearing, I can't hear it. And then when I put in my hearing aid to to do my live, all of a sudden I'm hearing all this stuff and I'm looking at Lacey going, what's going on? It's a big old house, so it's noisier than I thought it was. It's kind of crazy. Oh, so yeah, still a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, right, in the YouTube streets. We're gonna kind of go over. It should be the last time we look at those pics that were sent to the mob crew the other night. He had the chance to go over everything, look at everything. Some things were debunked, including the figure that he saw. And some things are suspicious. So we'll take a look at what he thought. I pretty much agree with everything he thought. And last night, all of you said the same thing. We thought that that was a tree, not a figure. And he agreed. He said, yeah, it's a tree. Even though it was kind of weird. It was a tree. Oh, you had a power outage. You had a snowstorm today, didn't you? Yeah, I hate it when we get power outages. I feel lost. Like, because I'm on my computer all day, so I feel lost with the power outage. Granted, I got my phone, but yeah, and I do have a power pack. But yeah, it was kind of weird. You know what? I just had a thought. I got to talk to Brenda Joe first, but I had a thought about what to share on our members live. It's something hilarious. You guys will laugh. Will laugh if she lets me show it. All right. So I'm going to go ahead. We'll just get right into it. Okay. Yeah, a bit of snow, rain, and freezing rain. Oh, yeah, and that's slippery to drive in. Snowy day for UNH. We didn't have anything. It's been sunny, but I think, let's see what my phone says about the temperature because I have a feeling that it's pretty cold. Oh, it's 13 degrees, but it's really windy. So it's probably close to zero with the doggone wind. I went over, we have two rocking chairs on the front porch. And when I let Lacey out, she goes down those steps. Well, the one rocking chair had blown completely over. So I had to pick that up. No fun. All right, I'm going to get myself off the screen so that you guys can see that good. And I think we don't need to see the chat. So yeah, just get right into it.
As always, I'm just going to play a 1-minute recap so I could just make sure my stream is going. Okay.
Those white garage doors.
All right. Oh, there's Pincho. Always huge shout out to him, what he's doing. Pincho, if you're in the chat, I know you commented it, and yeah, you're right on what you mentioned earlier. I saw that in chat. That was one thing I was looking at. And well, if you don't know what I'm talking about, we'll get to that. But I did email you back. I would check that out because I know you were talking about the car. And I would definitely, if you haven't seen my email, definitely check that out. Just so, if you have any questions. All right, guys. Let me just make sure everything's running smooth. If you have any issues, please just ask my mods. And then, of course, mods, if there's any issues, just try to get my attention.
Hello, Brenda Joe.
Let me fix this. Let me see.
Ooh.
Yes, and if you can, thank you, Heather. If you can, please like and subscribe. We're almost at 90K subscribers. I think I'm like 300 away, somewhere between 300 and 400. So
seriously, guys, if you have not subscribed to Mob Crew, please go over there and help him get up to 90K. That's awesome. That's an awesome, goal. He's only a few hundred away, and that's just an awesome goal. I can't wait until we get to 2,000. Quite a difference from 90,000, right? Hello, Victoria. Good to see you as well. All right. Let's continue on.
Subscribers away from 90K, and it would be, I would die happy if I hit that 100K and got that little plaque. That's it'd mean the world to me.
That's like a mile
anyway
for YouTube.
So thank you, Heather. God bless you, and to everybody. All right, let's get into it. Let's get the context out of the way, just in case anybody's not familiar with what's going on, and then we're gonna start showing you what I did with my overlays, and that way we can all kind of get on the same page. But I know everybody's been working on this, so again, this is not just me. Everybody's pitching in ideas and looking into it, independently. but as a team, which is just so amazing. So, real quickly, some context. So, SF, I'm sure most of you are familiar with Sebastian Rogers' case. Allegedly he's paid by the Proudfoots, and in my opinion, he's been creating a lot of controversy. And recently, in regards to that photo that was released, that looked like that says like it's Sebastian, and Katie, and it looks like they're claiming they're putting Sebastian in a car. And so anyway, in response to that, he had posted this on Twitter. I forget exactly what day it was, a few days ago or something like that. I'm not sure why he released this particular photo in response to that, because that's like, that's supposed to be where like the car and the lights are at, like on Stafford. Let me just pull up my map so everybody's kind of.
Yeah, it is kind of funny why SF released this instead of, well, in response to that blob photo, which we now know there was more drama on that last night. That just has been debunked, guys. So, and yeah, all I guess I would say is be careful. Be careful who you're watching and supporting. Because, if they're not going to tell you they were wrong, if they're not going to tell you, because everybody can be wrong, right? We all can be. Chris was wrong. I was wrong. But we didn't have a problem coming out and saying, whoops, I'm sorry. That's the difference. If other people are putting things out there and not, moving on to something else and not saying anything, be careful, guys. Be really careful is all I say. Try to determine what you're being told and whether it makes sense, right? Don't just believe things because you may like the person. Because we don't know. I've never met any of the creators, right? Maybe most of you haven't met them. But until you talk and spend time and get to know them on a personal level, one-on-one, you don't really know them, and just like you wouldn't even really know me, I guess, right? So I'm just going to say, just be careful. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want anyone to be misled. That's why I try to stick with facts here. Try to make it a safe place and try to stick with facts and it's one of the reasons why I stood my ground on that blob photo. I mean, if you think about it, guys, if something cannot be used in a court of law, then why are you talking about it, right? You want to really be careful. Audio is the same thing. You can't really make it out. So if you can't make it out, if a jury can't hear what the people are saying, then it can't be used in a court of law. So all I'm saying is just use, common sense and think about what you're being shown and, take it with a grain of salt or, debunk it in your mind and move on, that kind of thing.
Same page here. So, it's more in regards to, the lights video and the car and everything. But then SF, for some reason, releases a photo or
Sorry, I should have looked before I started it. Yes, Victoria, this was from last night. Certain people are playing games. I agree. Yeah. Ginger says the PI could not get the video from the lights video because LE has it. Yes. Yes. There is a missing vulnerable child missing, and LE says he is still alive. I think everyone covering this case should be cautious about what they put out. I agree. You know, we can't, I have never understood that. Why people jump on things that don't have any merit in the case, because and when I say any merit to the case, I'm thinking about anything that can be used in a court of law should it end up there. I think that all of us agree here at Granny's Crime Busters that there's been foul play in Sebastian's case, right? I mean 100%. There's been foul play, right? And so, you know, it's going to end up in court at some point. We're going to have a resolution, guys. I really do believe that. And, you know, there are going to be at least one person arrested, in my opinion. I believe that with all my heart. I don't know who that person is. I have my thoughts on who it or they could be, but I could be wrong, right? Any of us could be wrong about that. But I think, you know, I take this as like conscientious reporter out there, right? And we know that, you know, the mainstream news can be pretty bad as well. But back in the day, there used to be really conscientious reporters who kept their sources secret, stuck to the facts, and took that as a responsibility. And that's the way I take this channel. If I'm going to talk about true crime, I take it seriously because we're talking about victims here. We're talking about, like Ginger said, a missing vulnerable child who law enforcement still believes is alive. And do we really want to cause issues that could cause the people that have him to harm him? That could happen. I mean, this case is really scary because when you look at $100,000 hit on people, who's got money and power like that, guys? I mean, it's really, really makes you think, right? And it sobers me enough I've always said I wanted to stay away from the drama. And I think we've done a really good job here of doing that, right? But along with that goes with responsible reporting. And, you know, does it mean you guys may go elsewhere if you want to learn about the blob picture or about the other stuff? I always comment on it, and I always tell you why I'm not going to show it. You know, I told you that about the audio, and I told you that about the blob photo, right? So I always tell you why. I comment on it and tell you why, but I won't show it if I don't feel that it's going to help the case. And if I don't feel that it's real or factual, I'm not going to show it. Hello, Canine. That's all right. That's all right. You're never late here. You're fine. Yeah, SRB, it is. It's scary if you think about the stuff that are going on behind the scenes. And, you know, I just don't want to be a part or be a target. You know, as a creator, I don't want to be a target for anybody, you know. So I figured that by sticking to the facts, by just loving people from afar, we're going to get through this, and we're going to be fine, and we're going to keep our safe place that's here, right? Because many of you have told me you feel like it's safe here, and I want you to feel that way. I want you to continue to feel that way. Snowing here and very beautiful. That's awesome, K9. All right, let's continue.
A screenshot from one of the cameras that points towards the backyard of the Proudfoots, which in my opinion is a very important camera, especially if, in my opinion, there was some kind of abduction and they moved him. And in my opinion, if they did that, they would have gone through the backyard. They probably would have known where a lot of the cameras were, and they probably tried to kind of work around that. I mean, again, that's if you were planning to do this in an inside job, that's what I would think they would do. Do a little research, dry run, whatever you want to call it. So he releases this. So this is what we get, and it's kind of odd that he, blurs the home, and then we have this bright light. And I was wrong. I thought this bright light was part of the Proudfoot home and thought it was the Katie's bedroom, but it is not. It is actually across the street because when we got more photos sent to us, they're actually the unredacted. Now, when I got them, I didn't know if they were different because there's multiple photos that were released from the same camera. Some from the day, some towards the evening, and then some after midnight. So yeah, allegedly innocent. Yeah. Like I said, the totality of all that stuff in the backyard is, I don't think it's a coincidence. I agree there. Okay. So, and then of course we were kind of looking at this thing, trying to figure out what the hell this thing is. And so now having the actual daytime shots, because obviously this photo that we were using trying to look at, I think it's an older photo. But now we kind of have an idea of what this thing is. I still don't know 100%, but I'm still curious about these lights as well. But we were trying to figure out, where those lights, some people thought they were headlights. I think they're a reflection of something, because whatever this object is, it's like, it looks like it's metal. Some people, I think, said it could be like some kind of camper hood or something like that, which it could be. And I would love to see what your guys, when we actually look at the actual object, maybe some of you haven't actually seen the object because this picture doesn't show it. It's not in this photo. So I'm going to show it to you guys. Let me skip it forward here, and I'm going to take a sip. So again, I was wrong. I thought the home, because there's a tree, and I thought, yep, that, that was Katie's bedroom, but no, it's not. I was completely wrong, and I do apologize. And we'll show exactly how we know it's across the street and what we're looking at. But I'm still curious about these lights, though. This is weird.
It is so funny how Chris keeps saying he's wrong, keeps apologizing. You can tell how badly he feels, right? You too, afar. That's awesome. Yeah, Victoria, I gotcha, Ginger, in my opinion, law enforcement must have very good reason for not giving information to the public. If it is for Sebastian's safety, then I am glad. Me too. I understand why they're doing it. And so, if they have to continue to keep things close to the vest until they get their answers, I'm fine with that. Yeah. Yeah. It's awesome. And I almost, every time he apologizes, because he does it throughout the video, I just want to say, "Oh, you're okay. It's okay. Stop." But you can tell where his heart is, right? He's just a good guy. Okay. Let's continue on.
Is we'll look at some of the daytime, because like I said, we got a daytime photo, somewhere like in the afternoon or like towards the evening, because we can actually see the sun in the background. And then of course I think we got at least one night photo as well. And I see some love in the chat and donations. I will get to those in a little bit. God bless you guys. All right. So let's get to what I put out today, because I was curious if there was somebody kind of like walking with a flashlight, and I still think that it's possible.
Vehicle is
okay. So I'm going to take a sip here. So here is a daytime photo from that camera. Now, as you can see, it says Nest at the top right. That's usually like the brand of the surveillance camera. As you can see up here. So this is well, actually, this one is, you can see the sun here. So the sun, and we're looking west for anybody that doesn't know. So if anybody doesn't know what we're looking at, let me just quickly give you a top-down view real quick. I'm sure most of you guys know, but just in case anybody's kind of wondering what we're looking at. So this is the Proudfoot home here. And then we have the neighbor across, or not, I always want to say across the street, sharing the same backyard here. And they have a camera that points this way. So we're looking that way. So now we have some screenshots from different times of the day of this camera, and then we can actually see everything that we're looking at, which now helps because now we can actually overlay them one-to-one, which helps so much. Okay. But there's some issues that I see already. So here, now this is what's weird. Notice how it looks different, like it's almost like we're at nighttime. But notice this is the sun. So what's interesting is this photo here is actually before this photo, because see, now the sun's almost setting. So it's kind of weird how it went into kind of a nighttime mode. And I don't know why it did that. But very interesting.
Oh.
Unless someone just ran a filter.
Okay. So hang on a minute here, guys. I think he might be wrong. The reason I'm saying that, and someone mentioned it in his chat, could it be the moon? The moon was 7/8 that night. Okay. I think that might have been the moon, because look at right down in the trees there. That looks like the sun setting. Just my thoughts, my opinions. What do you think, guys? Can you see that? So I'm serious. I'm thinking that might be the moon shining in this like cloud cover, because I think the sun is back there by the trees, part of the sun setting. Not that it's a big, not that it's a big deal, but that's what I think it is. All right.
something like that. That could have been possible as well. But again, as we can see, we have some kind of photos that are kind of shown as it starts to get night. And remember, we're looking west, sun rises in the east, sets down in the west. All right, I'm just looking at chat for a second here. Okay, is that Mr. Smoke? No, it's just I think the camera maybe switched to like night mode for some reason. At first I thought, well, maybe that's the moon, but no, it's the sun. All right, oops, I thought this. Okay, so here we go. All right, so we have our, infamous photo that SF released that got everybody kind of talking, because the timestamp down here, which
could very well be Ginger. I just thought I saw the sun kind of setting behind the trees there, but yeah, I mean, I could be totally wrong. And maybe somebody was playing with the settings, or maybe they were playing with the picture. I mean, we don't know, right, where the picture came from. So somebody could have been playing with that as well.
we're going to get to the timestamp, because there's some red flags with this timestamp. And at the end of the show, I'm going to show you something that's going to raise major red flags for you guys.
Keep an ear, guys. This is really
again,
important.
why are we blurring this out if we have nothing to hide, right? Because remember, he's supposedly representing the Proudfoots and says they have nothing to do with it or whatever, allegedly, whatever. But anyway, he says that that's nothing to hide, but yet he's blurring stuff, and it just is he trolling us? What what do you have to hide, right? And what's interesting is it's at 3:06 allegedly, or 3:07 if you want to just round it up, and that is around the time that, in my opinion, in the theory, is when something went down with a potential abduction. Could possibly be an outside abduction, but either way, I think that's around the time frame that, in my opinion, something happened. But then we got photos sent to us last night, and then Carolyn Maryland says that I think it's the moon. Maybe with the moon. Yeah, maybe it could have been. You could be right. It could be the moon. Oops, sorry. What do you guys think in chat? Do you think that's... Because look at the size of the sun, right? You can see the sun right here. Now, I know the moon could be as big as the sun, because it's closer to us, so it's going to appear big. You think that's the moon? It's possible. You guys could be right on that. Anyway, let me know in chat. What do you guys think? Moon, sun? Because there's
Could be, but it doesn't really matter, does it? It's just amazing that wherever these pictures came from. So why was this blurred? Makes you wonder, right? What was this? What was there that was blurred? We kind of know why this was blurred, because of the lights that were there, right? That were on. But let's listen.
the sun there, and that is almost like exactly the same size. That's why I thought, like, it's so close to the same size of that sun. But anyway, more importantly, although that is interesting. Okay, so now we get this photo, which is now, once again, we can see the Nest logo at the top. And now we have this photo where there's nothing blurred. But the question now, the big question is this photo at the same time as the redacted one, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm like, I know the moon wasn't quite full, but it could appeared full because it was 7/8 full. But the fact that it was just like the same size as the sun kind of made me thought it was the sun. But either way, so here we have the actual unredacted version, allegedly. But the question is it at the same time, right? Because that was my big concern.
This was all.
And we will look into that. But so again, like I said, one thing that we're missing, if you notice, we go back. So notice the timestamp down here, right? Now let's look at the unredacted version. Okay. And I'm going to do an overlay here in a second, but there's something missing down here. There is no timestamp, which concerns me. And we're going to address that more at the end because I'm going to show you a pattern of SF that I just realized just like 15 minutes before the show that is some major red flags for me. But here is me. So what he did, so I'm showing you the part of his photo, right, that he sent out, and I'm overlaying it with the full context of the shot that was released, I believe, from Crabtree. I could be wrong. That's what I was told. But here, watch as I overlay. This is exactly all lined up here. And notice how much he's kind of cut out, which I mean, I don't care if you cut some stuff out if it's not really important. But notice as I start to overlay, what disappears? Well, one thing that we know, at least that I'm familiar with, is if you have a timestamp, the timestamps are usually there the entire time. But yet now when we look at this one that was released to us, there's no timestamp. Well, that's not right. And yes, Anna, you're right. They are.
Did a PI get caught? I bet that made him mad. It was odd. The one photo he had, there was a part of the house that looked blurry. I have suspicion the camera settings are being played with. Yeah. Yeah. Could be. Could be. But that's kind of funny how the timestamp. Did he get busted? Did it make him mad? I don't know, guys.
Good catch, Anna. And I'm sure others probably catch that as well. But yeah, good catch. Yeah, I'll get to chat here in just a minute. So here's the nighttime overlay. Because remember, there's the unredacted and the redacted. But I was curious, is it the same time, you know? So let's look at that. So here's me overlaying SF with the one that was released to us that's unredacted. And as you can see, the timestamp disappears, which is concerning. And we can see other lights on at the home, which is very concerning because why would you blur that out? And coincidentally, now we have, even though I was wrong about the bedroom, we have what appears to be possibly the kitchen light on or something like that. But let me just, quickly get the light across the street out of the way. Clearly, as you can see now that I can overlay the daytime and the regular, we can see that we can actually see the edge of the home right here. And this is the house across the street. So I was definitely wrong on that. Again, I do apologize. I am not perfect.
And so was I, because I thought that light was the garage lights. But when neither one of us had any way of knowing that, because we didn't have the unredacted version to be able to look to see which way the house was sitting, right? Because when you look at it this way, this house, from this angle, you can't see the driveway, right? And it kind of almost lines up, as far as I can see why he was thinking it was a bedroom window. So, Chris and I were both wrong.
But yep, that is across the street. And you can actually see right here, it's a little hard to see. You can actually kind of see the window. It's a little bit more rectangle than the square window that's across the street.
Hello, Cheryl.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, sorry guys. So why would a paid PI give any photos or video to a Crabtree person? I don't know. Here's my question though. Wasn't Crabtree with him when he was going and looking for footage from the neighbors? So maybe Crabtree put it on his, phone or whatever, right? Just a thought. I don't know. It does look like it was from a security camera, but I know that from everything I've heard, Crabtree has a drone as well. I don't know. But that's a good point. It's a really good point. Okay, I think this is where he's going to get in about the figure, the tree that we figured out last night.
All right, moving on. But yeah, so we got still a lot of concerns about what's going on here. And I did think that this was a person, but that is not. I think that's something that Pincho pointed out in the beginning of the show in the comments. It's so weird because it's like it does look like a person standing there. Because you'd think if it's a tree, like, well, how's the light shining through the tree? And I don't know how, but it is. It is a tree, and I will show that. But yeah, I was curious. I'm like, man, that looks kind of like the height of a person, kind of sideways walking, but no, it is a tree. Like I said, we want to make sure we get the right info out there. And it's actually this tree. It's just so weird how it gets like how the light like goes around it. It's just strange. But here's this object, right? And I want to pause it here and I'll read chat so I can see if anybody can get some ideas on what the hell this thing is. It looks metal or aluminum or something like that. It appears that it's more on the side of Proudfoot's backyard. So if we just look at the top-down view here real quick. So the shed is right here, and it's somewhere in this area. And let me know what you think, guys, but I still don't know what it is 100%. It is weird. It's definitely something that has, reflective properties.
And guys, I think that object is important. I understand why he's focusing on it, trying to figure out what it is, because in the older pictures, It wasn't there behind the shed. It's not there now. So was it essential for this night, for when Sebastian went missing? That could be crucial to the case, right? So I understand why he's focusing on it. It seems like a silly little thing to focus on, but when you saw the earlier pictures, it wasn't there. If you look at pictures top down now, nothing's there. I'll show you on Google Maps. Okay. Okay, so you just got trees here. Here's the shed. It's not there. Okay. So it makes you wonder, why was that there that night? Right? Why was that there? All right.
Obviously, so which would be aluminum, metal, I guess even plastic, but it's definitely something. AC condenser. Yeah, let me know in the chat what you guys think here. Let me get to what people sent in real quick so I can kind of catch up so I don't get behind here. Njez also helping modding. Thank you so much for gifting a Mob Crew membership.
Oh, Jackie, I'm sorry you're not feeling well. Our prayers hoping you get better soon. Yeah, no problem. I don't know. He kind of shows that yet, doesn't he?
Always supporting this channel. Now even helping. God bless you. Angel Wings, you're a great person, Chris. We love you. Thank you so much. That means the world to me. SL becoming a member. God bless you, SL. Thank you so much for supporting this channel. AMC 52 with the $1.99. Thank you so much. God bless you. Mandy Moose says, anyone who can say they've never made a mistake, let him cast the first stone. We have all made mistakes. Glad to see you on tonight. Thank you, Mandy.
Amen to that.
Yeah, that's what
Mandy.
makes us, we're all,
Human.
a lot of people have flaws, and, that's just part of life. Hobo's Life, thank you so much for the $1.49. Marion, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. God bless you. And is it Indy? I appreciate your honesty and hard work. I thank you so much. And I missed the big one. How did I miss this one? I don't know why it didn't show up. God bless you, Chris. You are here for Sebastian. Admit to mistakes. Tells me you're a good man. Thank you. Thank you so much, Carol, for that very, very generous donation. That is so sweet. Means the world to me. The love and support. Thank you, Carol. God bless you. All right. Let's see. Metal trash can. I mean, it's kind of tall. Not gonna lie.
To me, it looks like
the
there's
damn
layers
camper.
there.
Yeah, I've
doesn't it?
heard a lot of people. The biggest one is like some kind of camper, like top or something like that. It is weird. But at the very least, it's got the reflective properties like metal, aluminum, something like that. But yeah, very strange. AC unit.
No,
I think that's a little bit bigger because that's not a bad guess.
it's too tall,
I
and
just don't know
there's
why he's
layers
sitting
to
there
it.
because we've seen photos where there's nothing sitting there. So to me, whatever that is, in my opinion, it's something that's easily moved around. Maybe not easily, but has been moved around because we've seen other photos where that thing's not there. So
Looked like it had a
that's why
tongue.
I like the camper top thing. To me, seems like a good guess. I've heard grill. That
I
yeah,
don't think it was a grill
I think it's
either.
definitely something that is easily mobile, right? Yeah, truck topper. Yeah, a lot of people saying truck topper. Again, I don't know 100%. I'm sure somebody will figure it out. All right, I'm going to take a sip. Now we're going to move on.
It's too bad we don't have a clearer picture of it, right?
Pop-up camper, black part is a trailer hitch. Ooh. Yeah, a lot of people are saying that. Toolbox from a pickup truck. I mean, that's kind of big, and it's got a weird like dome part to it. It's kind of got that, kind of roundness on the top.
Well, and it's got layers.
But
Am I wrong, guys? To me, it looks like there's layers of things on there. If it is a camper, then the 2 garage lights might look like to circle light. Yeah. Yes. That's what I was thinking too. I was also thinking that the lights on the ground might be from the garage lights shining on the asphalt.
I never know. Actually, I'm gonna have to take my glasses off right now for a second. Okay. I really tried to slow this down. Oh, I see. So again, definitely have issues whatever this light source is, because as you can see in this other shot right here, which is towards the nighttime, we don't see that light, right? There's
Yeah,
nothing here. And this is taken from the same night earlier. I'm not sure the hour difference, but now we start to have the lights on. Now, I know I said before, I don't think it could be the garage floodlights, but now I want to retract that and say I still think that could be a possibility.
Right.
So again, I do apologize. That definitely could be the case. Okay, so let's go back to the day shot and let's overlay with the night shot and let's see what we can discover here. So here's me overlaying the nighttime shot with the day shot. And as you see, it's starting to, the home itself is switching to nighttime. So as you can see, we see I don't know. This is like, let me know what you guys think. Is this the living room, sunroom? It's where the lock is. Like if we go to Zilla, I might switch over to Zilla while we're looking at this here. I'm going to let this play and I'm going to pull up the floor plan here because we got multiple lights on, and that
I
is,
think
in
these
my
lights are
opinion, if it's
important, guys.
around 3 a.m., that is very concerning. I think most of you would agree. Okay, is that the good one right there? Okay. So that's the 3-door one right there. That's the front room. One second. I'm just trying to, oh, that's a good shot right there. Okay, that's a good shot. All right. All right. So I'm going to zoom in, of course, on this. But as we can see, we've got the 3 lights starting to kick on here. Or excuse me, the light. Well, yeah, there is 3 lights because there's one here, there's one here, and then there's one to the far left. And clearly, this is somewhere around in this area. One of these, I think that's called the sunroom, this little spare room here. That could be the one that's on. Not 100%, or if it's part of the living room and some of these got shades or something. I think what I'm doing is overlaying this again just to kind of show the lighting. Now I wanted to address this. I don't know what the hell this is. This is definitely not part of the actual photo. So please, I don't know if this is from Crabtree and he's got some like, I don't know if like that, you know, you can like make your mouse where it's different logos or something. I don't know what this is. This is definitely not there, you know. So please, that's one thing I think of why I wanted to zoom in, because I want to make sure everybody has the right information. Whatever this is not part of the photo, because I've seen it where it's sitting
I
somewhere
agree
else
100%.
in a previous photo. So it's like a cross and some other logo. I don't know if that's like, because you know you can make your mouse like different icons and stuff. I don't know if that's what that is, but anyway, I just want to make sure people know this cross and whatever the hell this is, it's not actually what's
Part of the picture.
there. So, like I said, I was curious about this and thought this was possibly a tree. Watermark, yeah, watermark, sure. Yep. Kind of a strange area to put a watermark, but you know, to each his own. But then I'm going to show the daytime. I'm going to switch to daytime here. So I don't want anybody to, because I know I was kind of entertaining that as being a person, but as you see, as I switch to day, you can actually see.
I'm with you, SRB. It's hard to know, isn't it? You know, did he, I don't know, you know, did he take some pictures? The thing is, if he went pounding the pavement, and we know that he did because the neighbors were complaining, they were scared of him because they were threatening the neighbors. To find video, security camera coverage, wouldn't he have just been asking for that night or maybe that weekend? So without a timestamp, and if you notice when Chris is showing all these pictures, none of them have timestamps on them except for Steve's regular picture, which he's going to explain later. But so it does make you wonder, was the camera set up not to have a timestamp on the photos? I don't know. Since the PI is also a photographer, I'm very concerned. These are a bunch of photos he altered. He could have. The fact that part of the house is blurred in some of those daytime photos is kind of disturbing. Yeah, that. But I also think that object is important. Could be wrong. Chris is looking at it too, like, you know, what is that? Because it wasn't there. It's not there now. So what is it? You know? And it's something obviously that could be moved easily. You know? I agree. But if he's going banging on doors and scaring neighbors, they might just give it to him to get rid of him, right? Or thinking they're helping since they've already given it to law enforcement and nothing has happened. You know, people get, we're looking at a year here, guys. So, you know, maybe they were trying to be helpful and giving it to him. I mean, who knows? Mostly what I heard was that he was scaring people, and they even, you know, one with a family went to live in a motel because they were afraid. That's ridiculous. I would have called the police before I went to stay in a motel because I'm afraid of somebody harming me, you know. But yeah, the fact that there is no timestamp is disturbing because we don't know if it was that night. Yes. The homeowner, the homeowner where these pics were taken is law enforcement, retired police officer guys. Which on the street view for Google Maps, his home is blurred out, but top down it's not. So
See the tree now start to come into the frame here, even though it's still not, this is not the best picture, but I just want to make sure, you know, we're looking at the right stuff when we're not trying to make things.
Okay, guys, this picture is a pretty good view of that object. Okay, so I see layers here. Do you guys see layers? Am I totally way off base here? But to me, it looks like things are stacked on each other. So, I do know that Chris has a trailer, but it's black, which around the edges there at the bottom, it's black. So was this his trailer parked in his yard and they were stacking a bunch of things on top of it? Tell me if you think I'm wrong, but to me, it looks like things are stacked there. Yeah, SRB, because it looked like stacked bins. Yeah. See, that's what I thought. But they had to be metal or something because they were reflecting. Something was reflecting, right? I think it was garage lights, but I think he only did it to debunk the blob photo, and I don't get why. I don't know if it was just to prove that he's got hundreds of hours of footage like he says he does, and then he blurred everything out. I don't know. But it's hard to know why he did it. But I have heard that he's angry with Crabtree. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but so I don't know.
Blow things out of proportion with things that are not, because when you see something that looks like a human standing in the backyard, obviously a lot of people are going to go nuts. And of course, when I first saw this, it did look like that. But I don't know. It's weird for some reason. I don't know. Maybe it's because his watermark is here. I don't know. It's weird. It's so weird that the light is like, it's like invisible right here. But that is the tree. I definitely looked at it multiple times. I just wanted to address that. Of course, we're going to get to the other lights, but I just want to make sure everybody is, got the proper stuff. Okay. So, how do we know if this is the unredacted at the same time, right? Because, we had SF release this photo, and then we had other screenshots that were taken from the same camera, but how do we know if it's from the same time, you know? And of course, I've already seen people already answer that in the chat because you guys are so
Clouds.
smart. But of course, the first thing I thought to do was I'll overlay it, and I'm going to look at the clouds, because the clouds, obviously, their patterns are very sporadic and unique. And obviously, it'd be a dead giveaway if they don't line up 1-to-1. So let's see what happens when we take the redacted version and unredact it, and we kind of focus on the clouds. And let's see what happens here. So as you can see, we got SF's photo here with the red that he sent us, and then I just call it the crab tree as far as I know. And as you can see, we fade out. And then I'm going to zoom in closer to these clouds right here in just a second. Here's me kind of fading in and out. Keep in
Those
mind,
clouds match
notice
up
this
perfectly, don't they?
timestamp. This is a major red flag to me. This is
Going
where
away.
I'm like, damn it, I don't like this. But here's me zooming it in. Because like I said, I wanted to make sure this was at the same time. And it was just, you watch the clouds, especially these ones, because obviously these ones, his picture doesn't go far enough. But as I start to fade it out, notice it's exactly the same cloud pattern. So this is exactly the same time, or the same photo. He just SF released a redacted version for whatever reason, and I never saw Crabtree's live. From what somebody told me, he has now privated it. Again, I don't want to be calling out other creators, and I don't want anybody going showing hate to any of these people. That's not what we're about on this channel, right? We're just trying to come together and find the truth. And so anyway, so this photo is at the same time. So that's good to know. Well, I would say same time, but do we really know what time it is? And we'll kind of get to that a little bit later. But
Right.
There's something
We don't
fishy
know.
going on. We'll address that at the end of the show here. Okay. So now we're zooming in a little bit more, right? So let's look at, can I get a, hang on, I'll look at this from the outside. So there's the sunroom with the three windows there.
4 windows. I don't know if they call that the sunroom, do they,
Get the
guys?
outside here.
I thought the sunroom was that
Okay.
porch.
So that would be where the front room would be, right there. So whatever light on is this light and this light. Right? Because we can see how black it is right here. Can you guys see that? Right? So we can see the porch, right? This is the porch right here, right? And then we have the sunroom, which I guess has got 4 windows, which is interesting. Does it have 4 windows?
Yep.
Thought it there's. Oh, it does. Okay, so that's interesting. So this is where the light source is coming from that middle one. We have this one lit up right here. Then I guess the blinds are kind of up, and then there's a little bit of light shining through this one.
No.
So keep that in mind. And remember, this leads to the backyard.
Figured it out. The little bit of light came from the
Okay.
bedroom window.
So as we switch over to nighttime. Oh, I think I was showing the tree. All right, 1 second. So just showing the tree here. But that's not a person, and it's just kind of cut off for some reason. It's weird. But we're gonna, so again, I just want to make sure that's a tree and that's the window across the street. Just to make sure we're on the same page. I'll look at chat here in just a minute, but I just want to point this out. So look, I'll start to circle them here. So we know this is where kind of like the living room is right here. So here we go. We're going to switch from kind of day or late evening to, past midnight. And yes, that is the sunroom. And we're going to slowly fade the evening to the midnight.
Well, hello, Dan and Ida. Awesome. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday and anniversary. That's awesome. Yeah. A den and a sunroom. Yeah, I think because it's like a den or maybe a breakfast nook because it's right across from the kitchen, something like that. I think the sunroom is what was connected to the living room, and that I think is where the dogs were because it's probably, get air there. I don't know. That's my thoughts. I guess I wouldn't call that inside room a sunroom that he's calling a sunroom. You know, that light. It could be right, and that's what I was thinking. Like the little bit of light that is showing, and it's coming from the master bedroom. I'm thinking is coming from back by that den or the kitchen area, right? Because it's just a very little light. Yeah, I don't feel like it's directly from that room either. I don't. Yeah, she said she had garden lights. I don't see them. I don't see them. There's the one light that's way over on the left-hand side of the house. I'm not sure what that is. I am certain that Chris will figure it out though, as he's got time. I know he's not going live tonight. He said he'd go live tomorrow. So what I'm going to do is skip to when he's talking about, because we kind of know where the lights are coming from on the back, and that is significant, guys. If this indeed, which we don't know for sure, but if it is indeed March 26th at 3:06 a.m., the fact that there are lights on is significant. Okay. And I think that object is significant too, because I don't think it was there before and I don't think it was there after. So I think that is also important to this case. But I'm going to, he figures out, is this where he's talking about the timestamps? Yes. Okay.
Very well, and we're going to overlay that too. So don't go anywhere. We still got about 30 more minutes. We started at 5. Yeah, we'll go. Definitely at least go for an hour here. Oh, it's 5:53. I thought it said 5:33. Okay. All right. So notice how the timestamp is disappearing, which is a huge red flag.
Mm-hmm.
Cannot tell you how huge.
Especially since we know they were the same photo, right? I mean, Chris has proved they were the same photo. Now, what's ironic is SF posted his first one with the blurred backyard and the blurred porch, right? But then he was sent these other photos, which so happened to match up. So they were this, and those allegedly came from Crabtree, right? So, and they match up perfectly. But those photos, none of them that he was sent, I don't know how many there were, but none of them that he was sent had timestamps on them. Important.
Of a red flag, that is, because that timestamp should just be there, right?
Yep.
That's not good. And so I started doing some research on timestamps. Now, of course, there's tons of different ways that timestamps are shown, but they usually have, a lot of them have the same common way they're presented. You get the year, day, and month, and then the time. That is typically how you see it. Just how I'm showing you right here. Now keep this in mind, because I'm going to show you something that's going to shock you. And then I'll get to chat. I'm sorry.
It's
Keep saying
typically
that.
military time with no AM or PM.
Apologies. Now, this is why I've always believed this one, because I know everybody's always telling me, like, be careful of the timestamps. This is the one why I believe this one's real, because he actually played a video with it, with it running. So I know it'd be a lot harder to fabricate that, and but we'll watch this. Okay, so this one's a real one. And what do you notice? And I know it's kind of cut off, so I apologize, but it's 2/24. So year, month, date, and the time. And then it has like the camera model, and I'm not sure the 999K part of it, but the most important part is, notice it's the same thing. You've got the 4-digit year, day, month, and then you've got your time, right? And remember, this one especially never was in the hands of SF. Now, let's look at everything that SF has put out, and you're going to see a pattern. Huge red flag. Check this out. So remember when he started posting, time frames, which I do think some of these time frames are real, or like close to. But I don't think these came from the actual camera. Because watch, you're going to notice a pattern. Because remember, each camera is going to be slightly different. They all are. So let's just keep adding on. Okay. Oh, look. What do we notice here between these two that are both presented by SF? We have now reversed. Usually we see the year, right? Day, time, day, month.
Numerical
And
date,
then we have
not
the
name of the date or the month.
6-digit time, hour, minute, second. But look here, we've got the 6-digit time. Then we got AM, which you don't really see in that, because usually you run in like military time or something like that. And then you see February spelt out 26, 2024, completely backwards. All of these are coming from different cameras, but yet, do you see a commonality in all of these? Same setup. We got the time, AM, February 26. Time, AM, February 26, year. Time, AM, February 26, 2024. Are you starting to see the pattern here? That's not good.
He's been caught, guys.
That
The
is
timestamp
not good.
on his redacted picture.
Because I was looking at a lot of examples of timestamps, and rarely, and I mean rarely, do you actually see a month spelled out. If it usually spelled out, it will be like abbreviated. So like February would be FEB. But clearly, this is the same format in all of these. Yet, when you look at the actual surveillance that hasn't been tampered with by SF, we have the typical, just all numbers, no letters, just the typical format for the year, month, date, and then the time. So, right there, that is a huge, huge red flag.
Interesting, huh, guys? Huge red flag. So we don't know for sure if these pictures were from the 26th, early morning 26th. We don't know. Yeah. The point being they were on when KP said she was sleeping. Yes, if they were from the 26th in the early morning. Oh, that could be where that light was from on the way left side of the house. I don't know why they'd have a light over that though. Unless those were her garden lights. The timestamp on your Nest camera doesn't look like the one that the PI has. Does it spell it out, Ginger? Or is it more like the ones that he first showed? Okay, all the screenshots I have don't show me the upper part of that door. A tree is in the way. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm sure Chris will figure out that light. But you know, those pictures that were sent to Chris are important because we outed SF for his his deception, right? Obviously, he put that timestamp on there. Now, was the timestamp accurate? Could have been, but he added something to that picture. Not only just the blurred for privacy things, which he was trying to cover up the lights, if it actually was February 26th at 3:06 a.m., right? If it actually was. He blurred out the lights and added a timestamp. So deception right there. You know. If I were the Proudfoots, I wouldn't be paying him anything. My opinion. Yours is all numbers, Ginger. Yeah. Yeah. So that makes sense. You know, and I remember having my camcorder, the same thing. It didn't spell out, the month. It was all digits. All numbers. But yeah, kind of interesting how just having a few extra pictures help to really see the truth of things. As far as what SF is doing. It's no coincidence that those pictures lined up perfectly. It has to be from the same surveillance. Right? I think his ego got in the way of him, is what I think, SRB. And I think he thought by blurring things, it's not easy to unblur something unless you have the actual overlay. And he didn't plan on Crabtree going live on this privated video, evidently. That's what Chris said. Just showing that stuff, right? So, I mean, I don't know. People are saying Crabtree sent Chris these pictures. Who knows? But yeah, it's I don't think he thought ahead. I think he thinks with his emotions. That's why he's on Twitter so much and mouths off. That's what I think. It's either that or he's looking for that 250,000, but doing it in a roundabout way. Like hoping he don't get caught throwing them under the bus kind of way. I mean, that's possible, guys. My opinion, totally my opinion. Everything is alleged here, but with what we've seen, I wouldn't put it past him, would you? Yeah. I mean, he's done nothing good for them. Oh yeah, I'd be taking him to court if I were them, but and now remember what I said last night, that on the year anniversary, the reward is going to go up significantly. Guys, if he's got all this information and he says he hasn't shared it with LE, I don't know. I don't trust him. And that would just really be awful, wouldn't it? If he was the one to end up getting the reward because he got all that footage and figured it out. I don't know, right? I don't know. Would not be good. Could be, yeah. It could be, I'm kind of hoping that these videos or these pictures are from February 26th at 3:06. I'm hoping that those are accurate. The garbage truck video that he put out seemed to be accurate, right? So, even though, the time seemed to be accurate, even though the timestamps were not, right? But the timestamp seemed to be, the time seemed to be accurate. So I'm hoping that he was being honest about the time and the day, even though he added that to it. But we don't know, do we? We don't know. And that's the bad part. That's the bad part. And Ginger, you said that you have the Nest camera. Can you turn off the timestamp from those cameras so that they don't show? I'm curious. Yeah, law enforcement should have that footage. But that's why I'm wondering, because all those photos, unless somehow the timestamps were taken off before those photos were sent to, I don't know. Yeah. Yes. And Tony has said that law enforcement has an abundance of evidence. Oh, not if you are paying for service. So, wow. Wow. Okay. Well, that's a little scary then. So then those photos were all altered to have those timestamps taken off, guys. That's scary. That is scary. Because from what we saw with Chris, none of those photos had timestamps. So those all had to have been altered. Oh, man. Well, hopefully law enforcement has all the originals, guys. And, you know, we're just basically viewing what they may have and what they already know, right? I don't know. Uvalde put something out that said there's going to be a big announcement soon. They were going to start working on Sebastian Rogers' case, and they put something out that there's going to be a big announcement soon. So I don't know what that means. I don't honestly trust them. Weren't they the ones that were there before and they backed off? So I don't know. Husband just checked ours. We have blank. The timestamp isn't on the photo at all, just next to it before pulling it up for viewing. Oh, okay. That's interesting. So maybe it depends on where you get your service from, right? Maybe they bought the Nest camera and they can take it off. I don't know. A lot of guessing going on, right, guys? I mean, I don't know. I know that with my camcorder, I did turn mine off because I got tired of at first I thought, oh, that's going to be cool to have, the date right on it. So I don't have to write anything on it, whatever, because it was a camcorder and camera. And after a while, I turned it off because it seemed like it was always in the way of something, you know. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm glad that information came out. Um, you know, time will tell. It was more for us to see those pictures. Yeah, because there was some daytime, some nighttime. He showed them over the last 2 nights. But yeah, there was some daytime, some nighttime. Um, they were all from the same angle, though. It was the same, just different times. Just different times, but none of them had timestamps on them. The only one that had a timestamp on it was the one that SF put on Twitter. That's the only one that had a timestamp on it. So, interesting, guys. Very interesting. I think that we're going to have answers soon. I believe that with all my heart. Is Blink part of the Google Nest? I don't know. I know nothing about security cameras. Maybe somebody else in chat knows. Maybe that's what a lot of companies use. Oh, the cams and setup. Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think they are. I mean, um, I think that each camera and setup, you know, I think that, you know, the security company can set them up the way that they want to. I mean, I remember with my camcorder that I could choose whether I wanted it to be military time or, you know, the normal, the 12-hour, but then it put either AM or PM in there. And I could never figure out military time. I could, you know, a couple hours in, but after that it was or a couple hours at the end, you know. You obviously know, but in between there I could never figure it out, and so I never memorized it. So I didn't like military time, and I have it set to the 12-hour. Yeah, I think Tony is trying to keep him from these things. He does go in, but I've noticed that if something is being said that's painful, all of a sudden he's gone. And I don't blame him. You know, that's why here I won't entertain the fact, you know, if anyone's saying that Sebastian's gone, I just won't, because if he ever walked in here, I want him to know that we're believing right along with him that Sebastian's alive, you know, and not only that, I just don't want to believe the worst. My son got Google Nest because they are blind friendly and work with the speech software. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Yeah, that is cool. So let's see. He just bought and installed them. They go to his phone, I guess, like RingCam does. To my knowledge, we don't pay. Uh-huh. Yeah. So are they like Bluetooth SRB that they go to his phone? There's no wires or anything? Oh, he does pay a yearly service fee? Gotcha. Oh, if you don't pay for service, you only get 3 hours of video before it deletes. Well, sometimes that's not enough. Like, look at it in this case, right? Me too. Me too. My lights are solar. So during the winter, when it's dreary, they don't come on at night, and I'm so sad. But I'm too old to get up on the porch on a ladder. I won't do it because a few years ago, I was up on a ladder at work and I thought I was on the bottom rung, but I was on like the second one from the bottom. And I stepped down, lost my footing, tried to catch myself with my right hand, and I shattered my wrist just horribly, and found out I have bad osteoporosis. They had to put a metal plate in my wrist and use bone concrete. It was horrible, which I never heard of bone concrete before, but yes. So I won't get on a ladder anymore, guys. That's nice though, SRB, to have somebody to take care of that. Yeah, it's crazy. So I'm gonna leave you tonight with our grannyism. And I found this, I thought it was really something good for us to keep in mind as we're looking at new information, right? Is this information trying to inform me, persuade me, or manipulate me? Right? And that's a good way of looking at the person who's giving you the information as well. Is the information trying to inform me, persuade me, or manipulate me? I don't know. I just found this one really, really good food for thought, because we can all get caught up, right? Looking at a photo and maybe seeing things that we want to see, because it's like I said about the blob photo. Did I want it to be right? Yeah. Because I feel Sebastian was carried out of the house. But if it, I'm not going to be manipulated, it's just not going to happen, right? Just because of something I want to believe, it makes a big difference. Yeah, Ginger, it still hurts, especially in the cold weather. It's not fun. And try to do anything with one hand. Guys, even, I think we have mostly women in here, even putting on a stupid bra. They wanted me to go to work a week after the surgery. I'm like, I can't even get a bra on. You want me to go to work? I have trouble pulling up my pants with one hand, and you want me to go to work, try, and it was just me and my dad. Well, I'm not going to go have my dad clip my bra for me. I mean, come on, right? So, yeah, I was very, very frustrated. I was frustrated with workman's comp. I was frustrated with my boss wanting me to go back so quickly. It was like, you do not understand. Check my email tonight after the show, and please share with everyone tomorrow. I will. So yeah, just kind of keep that in mind when you're hearing information out there. Well, even from me, for that matter, is the information trying to inform me, persuade me, or manipulate me? Right? It's always something good to look at. It kind of lets you know what's behind it, right? Yeah, I did. I said no. But I went back at 3 weeks because they were bugging me every day up to then. Time to burn the bra. My daughter's saying, get the sports bra, get the sports bra. Guys, I'm sorry. You put those over your head. Try pulling that down with one hand on the right hand side with your left hand, right? It doesn't work. I mean, people do not realize how difficult things can be when you only have one hand. I could not put any pressure, with my wrist at all. None, for the longest time, I'm not supposed to lift more than 50 pounds with it. And, I've tried. just grabbing like groceries or something, and I could feel it. I had to quickly switch to my left hand. So I know that it's not because I have osteoporosis. I know that it's never going to be as strong as it once was, right? So, yeah. I said I can laugh about it now, but um, you know, you won't catch me on a ladder. You will not catch me on a ladder. Not to mention Brenda Jo won't let me get on one anyway. Oh gosh. Well, I guess that's all for tonight, guys. I appreciate each of you so much for coming in and chatting, and we always have a good time. So Saturday, I think around 2:00, we'll have our members only live, and I think I have a really good, just kind of something, personal to show you guys. Burned yours a while back, drives you nuts. Yeah. Yeah. I don't wear them during the day. I only wear them when I go out. So, all right. Well, thank you guys. I hope you have a wonderful evening. And we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for watching another episode of Granny's Crime Busters. We really appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to subscribe and like and even share the content. You can follow us on any of our other social media platforms at YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We really appreciate you guys, and you can also email us at granniescrimebusters@gmail.com. Thank you so much, and we will see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.